Good afternoon. If anybody saw my last unboxing, I did say, I believe, that my next unboxing was going to be the Men of Iron tri-pack, which, as you can see from the title, this one is not Men of Iron tri-pack. Now, I won't go into great detail, but it seems to have gone astray in the post somewhere, the tri-pack, and I was itching to try the games out, and I stumbled across, I didn't realise at the time, but there is a volume 4, which is Arquebus. So I didn't want to try and buy the tri-pack again in case the original one that's supposedly been sent out to me turns up. So I thought in the meantime I'd get this one, and then if the tri-pack doesn't turn up, I'll reorder it elsewhere. So that's where this comes from. So Men of Iron Arquebus. It's covering, obviously same designer, it's the same game series, volume 4, Battles for Northern Italy 1495-1544, which is an era I don't know a lot about really. I do know that an arquebus is an ancient musket, and it was the first real type of rifle, as it were. So this period between 1495 and 1544, from what I can gather, shows how it was the demise of the longbows and the crossbows, and the very start of the musket, the musket and pike era. So these battles, I believe, show how it actually comes into being through the series of battles. So so that's what it is, unboxing. I have noticed that there's a bit of damage to the box, which that's a strange one, because I literally, just before I started recording, took the cellophane off. So that's obviously happened. It's not the game store's fault. That's happened in the packing somewhere along the line. But anyway, let's turn the box over before we come to anything else. You can see, of course, the Battles for Northern Italy, 50-year period. Uses the popular Men of Iron mechanics, and it shows 8 major battles. I'm not going to pronounce all those because I will get some of them wrong, if not all of them. So let's have a look. Contents: it comes with 2 maps, 2 back printed maps, which I imagine means double-sided, but we'll see in a moment. 3 counter sheets, 3 player aids, 2 10-sided dice, a rule book and a battle book. Medium complexity. I have been reading the rules online actually, and I'm about halfway through, and they do seem, I won't say simple, but they're fairly easy to follow. Solitaire suitability high. It is designed for 2 players, although to me with these battles, I think from what I've read, it gives you the opportunity to try and alter the historical outcome of those through fiddling about with different things. So you playing time 1 to 5 hours depending on the battle, and it does say players 1 to 2. Each hex is 125 yards, and the game designer is Richard Berg, who I'm sure most of you will know. So let's have a look in the damaged box. A few baggies. I'll probably I tend to use counter trays rather than baggies, so I don't. There's 2 10-sided dice. A little note, which somebody was saying the other day that GMT don't do this much anymore. I don't know whether they do it at all, but it's quite nice just to tell you. Actually tells you the name of who has packed it, which I think that's just a nice little touch. So we've got the rules manual, which is 20 pages long. I say it's laid out very well. I'm about page 11 or 12 at the moment, I'm reading through it. And it is making quite a bit of sense. I'm sure I'll have to refer back to it once I start playing, but nothing that's had me scratching my head as some games do. Let's see what else is on there. But yeah, it's fast. I know that sounds daft. I was going to say it is all rules. Sometimes they have designers' notes at the back, and then an index 2 at the back, and a few sources, which is quite interesting because I've been looking. Because I've now got this, I was thinking I'll have a look and see what books are out there. So there's a few there. We have a track, flight point track, and a general track. And the flight points are... No, I'm not going to say what they are, because I do this all the time where I half know how to play a game and half don't, and anybody who does know it will be watching this criticising me, saying he doesn't know what he's talking about, which obviously I don't. So we've got the player aids, so there's 3 of these, I believe. That's 3. Weapon system matrix for different shock and charge, for your different troop counters, a terrain chart for each different battle. I believe each battle does have slightly different rules as well, which are in the battle book. Siege counter explanation, fire results table, and fire and range modifier. Shock combat results, charge combat results, and leader casualties, etc. Fairly sure that's exactly the same. Yes, it is. I thought it said 3. Don't know why they'd have 3 in a 1 to 2 player game. 3 sheets of counters. I know one criticism I have, and I can see what it means, but I quite like these counters, but you can see that some of the writing is a little small, so could be quite awkward to pick out. I think it's out of the way particularly, but that is one negative I had heard about the game. Double-sided counters. Obviously with the number of battles and you've got specific counters for each battle, you are going to get a lot in the tri-pack. I think there's 6 of those. This, I believe, there's one of the maps. Battle of Pavia. Nice detail on the map, and as I suspected, it is double-sided. You can see on this one we've actually got 3 Bicoccia, is it? I said I wasn't going to pronounce these, now I'm going to do it. Serinola, and I don't know how to pronounce that. Carousel? Don't know. Again. To open there. Right, no, that's it. Battle of Agnadeo, Venovo, which I do know is the first battle in 1495. You can see there, June, 4th of July 1495. And what have we got on the other side? Vena. 1512, then Marignano. Again, apologies for my pronunciation. And the final thing in the box is the battle book itself, which is 40 pages long. I'm just going to go straight to the end because they've got an extended sequence of play, which I may try out. I do quite like using those just to get my head around the system after I've read the rules. So what have we got there? We've got each individual battle plays. There's a few example of plays actually, example of combat, and then sequence of play. So I'll just go back to that. Yeah, so that's something you can follow, which will help with learning the game. Preface tells you a little bit about the Italian Wars, how they came about, and then you've got historical background. I think for most people who get these sort of games are very interested in this, the historical background for each battle. So you've got a page on that, and you've got your deployment, each army, playing time, who goes first, terrain, different, and this is where it's each one's slightly different because you've got different units there, and it tells you a little bit about what you do. And then the flight levels, which is to do with the automatic victory, which is what I didn't go into because I wasn't 100% sure. And the game balance. Not all the games are balanced because, as we know, not all battles are balanced. So these are historical battles, so there's some which might be quite one-sided. I believe, and I'm not sure if this is where I'm getting a little bit mixed up with the tri-pack in this one, but I think in this one there are some rules somewhere, alternative rules, which I don't know whereabouts they are, but where you can change it to alter the balance so that if you're playing two-player, it's a little bit fairer. But it does tell you there, with this one for instance, League of Venice outnumbers the French total men by about 33%, but the Leaguers are going to have a difficult time bringing their army across the river. The League has more high-quality pike. The balance is not great in either direction, as it's reflected by the historical view that the battle was considered an inconclusive draw, with the French losing somewhat more men. So there you go. So yeah, looking forward to getting into this, and hopefully Men of Iron Tri-Pack will turn up at some point. Thank you for tuning in.